Hello, hello, hello. Greetings, beautiful souls. I am Alicia, Bharani Matahari, the Heart Whisperer Tarot. Welcome to my channel. If you are a returning subscriber, welcome back. Drop-ins and newcomers, it is amazing to have you here. I am privileged and honored to read for you all. So today we are doing a pick a card reading, and we're asking how your investment is paying off. What fruits is it bearing for you? What fruits are being born for you? And I'm leaving it open. It could be, life is a series of decisions, choices. How am I going to respond to this person? How am I going to react to that situation? What choices do I want to make today? What choices do I want to make long term? And how do I navigate that? How do I feel about it? How do I want to feel about it? How do I interact with life, basically? It could be specific to a situation, or it could be, more how you show up over the course of your incarnation. So I'm leaving it open to what comes through. And we have 3 piles today. Pile number 1, we have got the Lover's deck. We've got the Lover's card from the Way of the Panda Tarot. And we have this beautiful rose quartz carved rose. Pile number 2, you've got the Lover's card from the Muse deck, and you have this absolutely stunning piece of malachite. Gorgeous. Pile number 3, you have the Lover's card from the New Elements Tarot, and you have this absolutely gorgeous piece of lapis lazuli. So take a moment, follow your process, decide which pile is for you, or piles, follow your intuition. And this reading is timeless. So whenever you come across it, it is relevant if you're tapped into your intuition. So with that being said, information, timestamps are in the description box, in the comments for those of you on your phones, and I will see you at your reading. Bye. Welcome to your reading, pile number 1. We are taking a look at what is bearing fruit for you. And you chose this absolutely beautiful carved crystal rose quartz rose. And we'll put that up there beside your number 1. You also chose the Way of the Panda tarot deck, and this is the Lover's card. So the Lover's card is a card of choice. So where have your decisions brought you, essentially? You have the Swan card. The swan is reminding me of swan medicine in the Animal Oracle deck. And I'm also noticing that it's black and white, and it's also kind of abstract. I actually really love that. And then you have solar plexus energy, which is giving me Leo, fire, creativity, inner child, creative expression. We'll pull some tarot cards for you, and then we'll get your messages, pile number 1. So first up, you have the Hanged Panda, Seven of Pentacles, the Tower. Seeing a lot of yellow. Eight of Swords, Ace of Cups, Queen of Cups, Two of Pentacles, Six of Wands, gorgeous. Nine of Cups, so amazing. So first and foremost, pile number 1, I feel like you made a decision to surrender to your heart space at some point. I'm also getting that this could have been years ago. I'm getting that partially from the Seven of Pentacles. And I'm getting 7 years. Maybe you started something 7 years ago. And this doesn't necessarily have to be a project that you started, for example. It could have been just a mindset shift or a new trajectory that you took. And I'm getting that also, not just from the Seven of Pentacles, but also from, as I mentioned, the Swan. This card is particularly abstract. I mean, looking at it, you couldn't tell it was a swan unless you had that description. And it's also breaking down to a 13, which is the Death card, but you've also got the Tower. So I feel like you let go of something and you started on a new trajectory. You made a decision about that. And what I'm getting is in some way, shape, or form, you reconnected with your inner child, with your creativity, with your passion. And I'm also getting that from the Hanged Panda. This is Piscean energy. So cups also, that's Neptunian. Cups also can relate to creativity, but that creativity that comes up from the heart, that's revealed to you. You know how they say that water doesn't cleanse, it remembers because it purifies. But also water is one of those elements that a little bit of discoloration can make it cloudy or it can make it confusing. And Seven of Cups, of course, is the card of confusion. And we don't have that here. What we have is the Seven of Pentacles, which is telling me that if you make a change a small change in direction over time, as the crow flies, it will lead to a big change. So from where you are and you turn, 5 degrees, like once you start leaving your point of origin, you're going to be in a completely different place than you would have if you had kept going in the same direction. The Hanged Panda is also suggesting to me that you had a change in perspective. Maybe you were feeling stagnated in what you were doing. It wasn't working. You weren't feeling fulfilled. And then you have the card down here of personal fulfillment. And that's before the 10 of Cups. That's before you have the whole happy family. I mean, internal and external fulfillment. 9 of Cups really is kind of the internal fulfillment, that you know how to spend your time and energy on the things that actually bring you personal fulfillment. And that's the way I'm reading it in this spread. And of course, you have the Ace of Cups here, which brings you to 10 of Cups. You also have the Queen of Cups, which is giving that idea of Queen of intuition, Queen of emotion, Queen of healing, Queen of death. And again, we talked about how Cups energy can be creativity. So I feel like either it's matters of the heart. So it could be how you changed your approach to relationships. It could be how you changed your approach to, let's say, how you spend your time, and you allowed yourself to live from the heart a bit more rather than being more strategic. And I'm not saying that you gave up on strategy altogether, but you brought in more of the heart energy and you became less goal focused and became less, I don't want to say goal focused, because you can still have goals to bring us to where we want to go, but your happiness was not based on the outcome of those goals. There was more kind of like, I'm going to plant seeds and I'll see what emerges, what reveals to me. So a great case in point for that would be relationships. When we invest in relationships, we don't know how that's going to go, especially at the early stages. All we can do is show up and meet the person where they are and hope that they meet us where we are. And if we're in alignment and if we treat each other with dignity and respect, then that relationship can grow and can flourish, and it can turn into the happy family card. It can turn into that long-term Pentacles energy. So I feel like you've been really patient with yourself. You've really listened to spirit. There might have been a time when you just, throughout this process, again, I'm getting 7 years, throughout maybe the past 7 years, where you didn't know what the outcome was going to be, but it was a labor of love. Maybe you learned how to do a new creative skill, for example, or maybe you just pottered around and, started a garden, and 7 years later, it's just morphed into something that's completely different. And now, for example, you decided to switch career and become a landscape gardener or something, or it just took off in a way that's just so beautiful that's like where you spend your time to do your meditation, to connect with the dream time and get a lot of inspiration, and the rest of your life then benefits because you planted that garden. That's just an example, but that's what I mean by the what's coming through is abstract. Like you mightn't even be able to pinpoint that moment where it was a big ta-da, I'm going to do this. It might have been more of a gradual, meandering kind of shift, but it's brought balance into your life. You could have connected with other people that were more in alignment with you, then feeling like you're, that you're shadow boxing or you're trying to pour water on sand. Learning to enjoy the process, I'm getting very much. And it's made you build up confidence in who you are, not only in who you are, but in how you approach life, in your core, in your center, in your being, how you take action in the world, having confidence in your philosophies, in your how you see the world. Maybe you got into acting or something, because solar plexus is reminding me of Leo in the 5th house, and that rules the theater as well. So self-expression and play. I'm getting a lot of you allowed yourself to play, and I'm getting inner child from here, but then I'm seeing a lot of couple energy here also. So you may have got into a partnership also. So I'm seeing it being matters of the heart. So it could be related to, again, creativity. And what do we do with a life? Hopefully we create it rather than just, survive it or live somebody else's timeline. Or it could have been something, a relationship, again, matters of the heart. Cups are often to do with relationships. And also lovers can be to do with the relationships. But lovers is also the choice card. So again, I'm getting it's a small decision that you made and your life has changed in a completely different way. Now, you may not be at that stage where you're seeing your 9 of Cups, where you're seeing your 6 of Wands. We didn't talk about the 6 of Wands. 6 of Wands is a card of recognition, of visibility, of victory. So you might be like, what are you talking about? That hasn't happened for me yet. Well, it's happening. You might not have made you might not have made this choice 7 years ago. Maybe there is a choice that you made somewhere along the way. And it doesn't have to be literal. It just is giving patience and a long time. For some of you, it was 7 years ago, or 7 years from decision to seeing that 6 of Wands, to being in that, wow, I didn't realize that shift that I made back then would lead me to this personal fulfillment. And it doesn't matter if I don't know the next step, because I'm happy where I am. I'm just going to keep tapping into my intuition and loving myself, loving the family that's around me, taking perspective when I need to, and always looking at things from different perspectives, because why wouldn't I? And enjoying the transformation of me, of who I am, and how that expresses in my life. We've also got the Page of Swords, which is telling me that, again, it's connecting to, you've been really good at listening to your guides. You have been really tapped into your intuition. Now we have got the Ace of Cups on the Ace of Cups, which for me is double confirmation that you have just got so much more tapped in to your intuition, to your heart space, to the divine, that you have been walking by faith, not by sight. And if you're not at this stage, again, where this 6 of Wands is happening for you, it's on the way. And if you don't feel the 9 of Cups yet, it's coming up, it's bubbling, it's in your solar plexus. And maybe to do some solar plexus to do some solar plexus work. You've got the Seven of Cups, which we talked about could be confusion. So you might have so much going on right now that you can't tell the woods from the trees. But if you are able to get still over the hanged panda, if you're able to get still and you're able to just strip away the noise, you'll actually realize that you're not confused, you're not overwhelmed in any way, but what you have is options, and you will be able to tap into that fulfillment. You'll be able to look back at how far you've come, what you have chosen to let go of, what you have overcome, what you have really healed in yourself, what you have been patient about, how you have been spending your time while the Six of Cups is on the horizon. And again, we've got the Knight of Pentacles over the Two of Pentacles and over the Seven of Pentacles, which is again reiterating that this is a very, I don't want to say a very slow process, but an organic process. It's not something, it's attraction energy. It's not push energy, but it's not abracadabra. I want X, therefore I'm going to wave my magic wand and it appears. It's got nature. It's got the law of gestation. I remember once somebody telling me, like, when we were talking about manifesting, they were like, well, you don't want to conceive the baby and then have it the next day. It needs time to grow. And I'm getting that energy from this. Whatever it was, it needed time to grow. And as did you, as did the people who were involved in this as well. And let's say, for example, it's a business, your clients to come into line so that they could actually meet you. Then we've got the Knight of Wands over the Six of Wands and over the Tower. And the Tower can be Mars energy and Scorpio energy, which is, it's action, it's transformation, it's change. This is fast moving energy, a burst of creativity. And the Six of Wands, the Knight is forward moving. These Knights you've got two Knights, so you're moving forward. Maybe in the Pentacle realm, it seemed like it was moving at a snail's pace, but on the ethers, on the spiritual realm, I'm hearing that you have accomplished so much through this patience, which is, oh my gosh. On the Nine of Cups, you have the Ten of Cups. Oh, wow. Pile number one, this is amazing. Whatever that small decision you made or you are making, this is where it leads. Nine of Cups, Ten of Cups, confidence. Big changes on your consciousness, big changes on the astral, just a whole transformation in who you are, in what you show up and deliver to the world in terms of like what you have birthed. And what you have birthed is you and the world that exists around you. Like I'm seeing I'm seeing the sun, like you are this radiant, auric, light infused being. It's so beautiful. I'm getting rainbow bridge. I'm getting rainbow child. I'm getting indigo child. You might be, have you ever seen those things on YouTube where they talk about how people who, some personalities bloom later in life? That could be you, or it could be that it was a longer process. Really, really gorgeous energy, pile number one. I am so happy for you. If you feel like sharing in the comments what this was, please do feel free to share. I would be absolutely curious about how this is manifested for you. It's absolutely beautiful. If you enjoyed the reading, please give me a thumbs up. Drop a sun in the comments. And I hope to see you at another reading. If you want a personal reading from me, the information is in the description box. You can only book through my website. I will never approach you. So if you get it from somebody else, you can block or report or ignore. It's not me. You have to book through my website. I'm sending you so much love. I am so happy for you. Take care, pile number one. Bye. Welcome to your reading, pile number two. You chose this beautiful piece of malachite. Gorgeous. Absolutely stunning. And you chose the Lover's card from the Muse Oracle deck, or from the Muse Tarot deck. My apologies. You also have the card number 44, Rings of Time. And you also have the card 36, Prosperity. Beautiful. So we're asking the question today, what is bearing fruit for you? I'm already getting some messages straight away for you, but I want to pull some tarot and then we'll look at your message in a more holistic way. Okay, dropping cards. 7 of Materials, which is 7 of Pentacles. That came up on pile 1. Temperance. Yeah, this is really bearing out what I was thinking. We have also got the, have to cover up a little bit, Hierophant. Ten of Inspiration, which is 10 of Wands. 2 of Emotions, which is 2 of Cups. 5 of Inspiration, which is 5 of Wands. 10 of Emotions, which is 10 of Cups. Wow. 6 of Inspiration, which is 6 of Wands. That came up on pile number 1 also. 9 of Voices, which is the 9 of Air, which is the 9 of Swords. This is absolutely bearing out what I was thinking, or what was coming through. And then we have the Justice card, card number 11. So what is bearing fruit for you, pile number 2, is your dark night of the soul. You're definitely my dark night of the soul pile. I feel like you have been through a dark night of the soul. And you had to walk the path alone for a while. And you had to be patient. You had to tap into your inner divinity. You had to temper out your energy. A lot of sleepless nights with the 9 of Voices, with the 9 of Swords. A lot of burdens to carry. And to carry alone with the 10 of Wands. You had to partner with Spirit, 2 of Cups. You were around a lot of competition, competitive energy, and people pulling at you. But centering your reading, you've got the Temperance and you've got the 10 of Emotions leading into the 6 of Wands, which is the Victory card, the Success card. You've still got the 9 of Swords here, but it's a 9 of Swords that is so beautiful, as is this 10 of Wands card. So you've got in the traditional tarot, it's a man carrying a heavy burden, a heavy load. But what I'm seeing for you and the fruit that is being born is your decision. The Lovers is a card of decision. Your decision to go within, to go into hermitude, to explore your inner landscape, to possibly go back through. I'm seeing this Rings of Time as being a figure. It's actually giving me blue avian race, actually quite strongly. It's also giving me very strongly throat chakra, a little bit of heart chakra, a little bit of root chakra, crown chakra, higher heart chakra, and also third eye chakra, Agnya chakra. So you've had to be very patient. And what you did in that time was you tempered out. You went and you partnered with Spirit. You looked at what it was that was causing you to have sleepless nights. The relationships that were in your life, the internal conflicts as well as the external conflicts. And you know what they say, when we feel conflicted inside, that manifests on the outside as well. And you could have been born into it. With the rings of time, I'm really getting very strongly that you were tempering out through a lot of past life karmas. It could have been a dark night of the soul that lasted 7 years. 7 years came up in pile number 1, but it mightn't necessarily be so literal. It might just be that it was a long time and patience was required, because 7 of Pentacles is the card of patience. I'm seeing this as being a portal behind her, and almost a bridge out of whatever needed to have patience, and all of this prosperity around her. And of course, you've got the card of prosperity, which breaks down to a 9, which is reminding me of both the 9 of Cups and the 9 of Pentacles. And the 9 of Cups and the 9 of Pentacles, it's about personal fulfillment in the 9 of Cups. And then also with the 10 of Cups, then that's taking that fulfillment. The way it's coming through in this reading is taking that fulfillment and seeing it flourish externally through your patience, through the work that you've done, through tempering out yourself, through tempering out your emotions, your mental body. 9 of Voices, that's the card of anxiety. That's the card of the dark night of the soul. What you've done with that is you have created such a beautiful, rich inner landscape. I'm seeing this. Look at this burst of all of that energy and beauty and connection. I'm seeing like 8 pyramids. I'm seeing a sun. I'm seeing 2 squares here overlaying each other. And that's reminding me of the pyramid that has the 4 sides on the bottom. I think it's is it the tetrahedron? I'm not entirely sure. You can look it up. But what I'm seeing is a lot of interconnectedness, a lot of orbs, a lot of points of connection. It's reminding me of Dr. Joe Dispenza, and he talks about what fires together wires together. So in that time, you used that time to fire together ideas with forgiveness. I'm getting forgiveness from the 44 card. That's the card of Kuan Yin for me, Avalokiteshvara. Kuan Yin was Bodhisattva. She had transcended the body. She had earned her stripes to ascend. I guess she's an ascended master. Maybe not. Don't quote me on that. But she had reached a level that she could ascend out of 3D, but she chose to stay until everyone had achieved enlightenment and everyone could be free. So it's really, really beautiful. And she had been through the ringer in her Kuan Yin incarnation, particularly with her father. So you may have had an experience in childhood, or you could have come from a family where you had an overbearing father, or both an overbearing father and a mother who didn't protect you is one option, or maybe an overbearing mother and a father who didn't protect you, or maybe they were both overbearing, or maybe they were highly neglectful. Whatever it is, I feel like you had to really be patient with yourself. You had to make the decision. This is the lotus flower. It's reminding me of Om Mani Padme Hum, which is the jewel is in the lotus. So you grew yourself out of the mud, and you grew internally this beautiful prosperity, this connectivity, connecting to aligning with spirit. I'm hearing the song from Katie Melua, Spiderwebs. She's going, how do I know which is right? Well, I hope he does when he sends you to fight. 'Cause the line between wrong and right is the width of a thread of a spider's web. The piano keys are black and white, but they sound like a million colors in your mind. So you have taken what it was that was causing you anxiety and you have turned it into magic. I'm seeing the colors being reflected here, and I'm seeing that as being all the colors of your chakras, of the universe, of different sounds, different vibrations that you have learned mastery over your mind, over how to feel inside your body as well. I'm getting that. And over your emotions. We've quite a few cups here. We've got 2 of cups. We've got 10 of cups here. And then now you're coming into a time, you've been successful in this endeavor. Whatever it is, maybe your story is going to teach people that it is possible, that you can come from the mud, that you can have to reparent yourself, that you can, with patience and with forgiveness and with working with spirit and going within and stepping up. This can be a card of stepping up, the 10 of inspiration, the 10 of wands, like turning, and I don't mean this lightly, but you know, when life gives you lemons, make lemonade. I mean, we're talking about lemonade we're talking about cosmic lemonade here. We're talking about lemonade on the scale of like lifetimes. You have just turned something around so beautifully, and anchoring the center of your reading is this 10 of emotions, which is the 9 of emotions that you have built up in yourself by stepping up, by being patient, by doing the things that you needed to do, and allowing others to make their choices and be who they are. I'm getting that very strongly from the Justice card, like not forcing your beliefs, not forcing your wants and desires on other people, and really taking the time to work with yourself and taking care of yourself, keeping your own side of the street clean. I'm also hearing, and forgiveness is very strongly associated with Kuan Yin. In the end, I won't go into the whole story, but in the end, her father gets sick and she ends up being the only one who can be the antidote to his illness. And she doesn't even think about it, because she had transcended the need for her body. She was on to other work, let's say. And I'm not saying that's not the case for you, but I feel like one of the things you've been highly successful in is being able to, in those moments where your anxiety would come up or where the pain would come up, you would look at that pain square in the truth, square in the face, and just be like, yes, that hurt me. I am going to feel it. I am going to temper it. I am not going to let it define me, because I'm going to be happy. I'm going to be successful, and I'm going to give myself the karmic justice that I deserve. Really a card of leadership, a card of, and in the traditional tarot, this is a card of leadership as well. The leader is up, he's elevated on the horse, and he's being recognized by his team. So I feel like you're being really recognized by your spirit guides. You may or may not see that taking, because the only pentacle that we've got on the board is the 7 of Pentacles. You may not see the actual fruits of this in 3D at this time, but it is coming. You've got success. You've got 10 of emotions. And you know, when you're living a life, when you're enjoying the journey, and that's giving me travel as well, cosmic travel. So, you know, it's giving kind of backpacking. The whole point of backpacking is not the destination. The destination is part of it, but it's the experiences that you have along the way. It's kind of giving that, being the backpacker of your own life and taking the L's and taking the W's. And I'm getting a feeling like you didn't actually have a lot of W's. You had to rise above it, and you had to temper out over and over and over and over again. And your time of justice is coming. But the biggest piece of justice that you've gotten is that you've been able to forgive those who have wronged you. And I'm not saying that you don't ever feel the pain of that, but you're not wishing ill on them. I'm hearing Ho'oponopono for you as well. thank you, please forgive me, I love you, I'm sorry. That practice might be something that you have engaged in or something that you're attracted to, but you have that vibration, that frequency of Ho'oponopono, and that actually might have made you a target for other people. I like to think of this card, particularly in this deck, the Six of Wands, as the mini star. And the star is a card of not only healing, it's a card of like, could be fame and fortune, it could be recognition, it's a card of renewed hope, a card of regeneration. I feel like you're that not only for yourself but for others, because I don't think people really expected you to be able to overcome what was levied at you, and maybe the circumstances from which you came, and that might have been hidden in the dark. I'm seeing the moons here in the Temperance card are giving me also that, you might have come from circumstances that looked good on the outside, but behind closed doors it was just super toxic, and it was super draining on you, and you needed to either change it or move away from it in order to be able to heal yourself. And it's giving very strong, with the dark night of the soul, that can often have, CPTSD, ADHD, all those kind of things that like really, the rumination, the things that really take up a lot of mental activity. And while you're tempering that, and we've got the lotus here as well, repeated, while you're tempering all of that, you are not able to build. Again, I'm not seeing any pentacles energy except for the Seven of Materials. So I feel like that is coming for you. And as confirmation would have it, you have got the King of Pentacles. That is the energy. That is the next phase. That is the fruit that is being born for you. I'm also hearing, in terms of another song for you, it is Revenge by Danger Mouse and Sparkle Horse. You can't hide what you intend. It glows in the dark. Once you sought the path of revenge, there's no way to stop. And the more I try to hurt you, the more it hurts me. I think you have really avoided the trap of revenge. I'm hearing that phrase by Maya Angelou. I didn't put the wounds there, but it is my responsibility to heal them. Oh my goodness. Pile number 2, you've got the 10 of Pentacles. Wow. Page of Cups. So all of this, the prosperity is about to take root if it hasn't already. And 10 of Pentacles. So I feel like that's definitely in your future, or you could be further down the timeline and you could have already have manifested this, or it could have already be showing in your 3D existence. Page of Cups. I'm just seeing this. You've retained your innocence through all of this. You've retained your pure heart. It hasn't made you jaded. I'm not saying that there aren't hangovers from and trust issues that you have to work with. That might very well be a case, but your intention is pure, and you don't judge people mentally by what happened to you in the past. However, there may be some things in your body that you need to, as you meet new people, when people are now being kind to you and people are wanting to support you and collaborate with you, there may be things you may need to temper, some past energies that are still in your body. We have got 7 of Cups, which can be the confusion card, but it can also be the option card. So I feel like on two sides, again, that's giving, you might have some residual confusion in your body from the treatment you received in the past. And also, you have a lot of options. Beautiful. And the Emperor. Wow. So the Emperor is mastery of all of the earth suits. So it's the embodiment of the 4 kings. You might have an emperor coming in. If you, let's say, grew up in a family of origin that for their own reasons, their own family curses, their own family karmas, or there was a lot of codependence, or there was a lot of looks good on the outside, let's present well to the world, but behind closed doors it's like a shambles. You're now overcoming that, and with the rams, that's giving Aries energy, and also the Emperor is Aries energy as well. So you've got mastery over yourself. You've got mastery over your emotions, your intuition, your thinking, the action that you take in the world, your body, which is speaking to what we were talking about before. So the anxiety can show up in your body and your nervous system, but you now have the mastery on how to deal with that. And you've already got the King of Pentacles on the board, which means that you're able to take all this beautiful unseen energy and to be able to build something beautiful that's not only highly fulfilling, but that's long lasting. I mean, look, we've got the castles in the background. We've got the grandfather here. We've got 3 generations here. We've got the pets. We've got the arch. We've got buildings. So this is really giving legacy. And then we've got the Page of Pentacles here. That's giving to me a couple of things. It's giving, some of you might be again at the early stages of bringing this manifestation into 3D. Some of you might be further along the road. The other thing it's giving is you might be at the stage where you're now being the emperor to pages in your own life. So maybe you have children and now you're at the stage where you're nurturing them and you're helping them to be strong in who they are, like to feel rooted, to feel grounded, to feel safe, to tap into their heart space and to really meet them where they are and to help them, to teach them how to build in the world. Like I'm really getting that you've brought the what's bearing fruit for you is your journey, your story, your incarnation, the culmination. I'm almost surprised that the world card didn't come out. The culmination of how you have been living and the decisions that you have made, choice card, decisions, the decisions that you've made of how to navigate this incarnation. You're really offering something beautiful to the world and you're a teacher for other people. Guidance. I didn't pull these in card 1, but guidance. This is also giving me Rhiannon. And Rhiannon was blamed for things that should not have been blamed for. Inner compass, support, trust your guidance. But what I'm seeing here really strongly is the unicorn. The unicorn only shows itself to those who are pure of heart. And we talked about you retaining that pureness of vibration, of a pure heart, a pure intention, that willingness not to seek revenge, which is huge. Portals. I feel like the work that you've done has opened portals for you in a way that you never could have planned or expected. Family of light. You might be connecting with you might feel more connected with your family of light, with your archangels, with your guide team, with your star family. And even with elementals, with different realms, with the Fae, whoever it is that you resonate, maybe all of the above. But I'm seeing with the rings of time, you know how we have the rings on trees. I'm seeing you as being like a cosmic tree, if that makes sense. Trees are record keepers. I feel like you are a record keeper of so much information and you are bringing that back into this family line and you are paying it forward through the people that you teach, whether they choose to come along with you or not. Anyone who has wronged you in the past, I feel like you have an open heart and you have an open invitation. Yes, come on, let's elevate, like Kuan Yin with her father. But at the same time, you have a respect for their free will and you have an understanding that they're legitimately where they are on their journey. You don't want to tell them how to live. You're offering guidance. You're offering. And you are an offering of spirit to this incarnation. This energy is so beautiful. Pile number 2. I can tell that you have been through the ringer by these cards. I can feel it, but I can feel this. It looks like a figure. I feel like this is you. You just, your soul, your presence, your aura is just so big and powerful that you probably intimidate people. I'm seeing Gulliver's Travels in my mind. He's this giant who gets, the Jonathan Swift story where he gets washed up on a shore in Lilliput, and when he's vulnerable and he's unconscious, they tie him up, and it takes a whole village to tie him up. I'm seeing that kind of energy for you, that like when you were down, people were, aha, we can get them. And I feel like you've been through that repeatedly, especially by people who had the title, I love you, but they didn't have the skill set. They didn't have the purity. They didn't have the guidance until you showed up and you led them through this. That's what I'm seeing for you, pile number 2. If you're not subscribed, I hope you'll consider subscribing. Do give me a thumbs up. Drop a star emoji in the comment or a tree emoji in the comments if this reading resonated with you. If you would like to work with me personally, you can find that information in the description box. I will never reach out to you. You have to book through my website at this time. And I'm not on any other platforms at this time, just YouTube. So I am sending you so much love and so much gratitude for being here and being you and just showing up in this energy. It is just so mind-blowing who you are, who you have become, how you have navigated this incarnation. I am so happy for you. I would love to hear what you're bringing forth into 3D land, and you are a total inspiration and a total aspiration for humanity. And for your guides, you've got a lot of cheerleading going on the other side. I'm hearing applause on the other side for you, pile number 2. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Sending you lots and lots of love. Bye. Welcome to your reading, pile number 3. You chose this stunning piece of lapis lazuli with all this beautiful gold and white through it. A royal blue for a royal you. You also chose the Lover's card from the New Elements Tarot deck. So we are looking at what fruit your investment is bearing. So you have got card number 38, the Pearl Threaded. Gorgeous. And you also have, the card of consciousness. Blue, more royal blue to match a royal you. I love this for you. Pile number 3. 3 is a magic number. I wonder, are you a musical pile? Because I'm seeing with the Pearl Threaded, it's reminding me of how sound travels over water. It reminds me also of years ago, I don't know why this is popping into my head, but I'll share it seeing as it was. Years ago, I spent time in Hawaii at the Alawai, which is the sailing club beside Waikiki Beach. And I was living on a boat with somebody who was very close to me. And you could hear all the conversations at the deck carrying over the water. And yeah, it's just reminding me of that. That was obviously a fun time. Never did a little girl growing up in Ireland think that she would end up living in Hawaii on a boat for a couple of months, but you never know what's going to happen. So that might be part of the message for you too. So I'm going to pull some tarot cards for you and we'll go from there. Pile number 3. So you have Let's just cover that up in case it's not allowed. You have the Three of Swords. I'm sorry, pile number 3. You have the Three of Pentacles. It's the Three of Earth, 3 of Air, 3 of Earth. You have the High Priestess. You have the Six of Wands. This has come up in all 3 piles. Pile number 1, pile number 2, and pile number 3. You have the Three of Wands. Exploration. You've got 3 threes. That's a 9. You have got the Six of Knowledge. So that is the Six of Air. The Six of Swords. You have got the Five of Wands. Conflict. 5 of Fire in this deck. You have got the Two of Air. Equilibrium. 2 of Swords. And you have got the Daughter of Earth, which is the Page of Pentacles. Yeah, I was getting some messages coming through initially from your cards. And I feel like what is bearing fruit for you, pile number 3, is your time of hermiting and what you did with that time. I'm getting communication really strongly. From the blue, it's reminding me of throat chakra, also crown chakra, and the indigo around here is giving me third eye chakra. But these 2 pearls, they're reminding me of, you know, when you made the fake phone when you were a kid? It's showing communication, but communication with your whole being. I feel like you really invested in that. And I'm hearing the song Comfortably Numb by Pink Floyd. Hello, is there anybody out there? Can you hear me? And I'm hearing the song by Alan Raymond, God is a Woman. And it has similar lyrics to that as well. A lot of music is coming through for you. So in those hermit stage, maybe music was something that actually brought you a lot of comfort, a lot of downloads, and really helped you commune with your own heart, with your own intuition, and with your guides. I'm hearing listening and praying, communing. So I feel like you were in a phase where you were quite isolated, maybe by choice, maybe by circumstance, which, you know, when you zoom out far enough, that's pretty much the same thing at a certain level. It doesn't mean that people are not doing stuff in your world to make that happen. But if you're on this channel, you probably know what I'm saying. I'm hearing ET phone home. And I'm hearing be impeccable with your word. That's one of the 4 agreements. And I feel like you are someone who is impeccable with your words. This reminds me of lapis lazuli is about communication, is about intuition, is about the throat chakra. So I feel like you've had an elevation in your consciousness, but you've also had a throat chakra healing, clearing, expansion, elevation, ascension, call it whatever you will. And the throat chakra is the first of the ether chakras, and it is the gateway beyond the 3D, which is interesting. So what you decided to do with your time and who you decided to partner with, which would have been yourself. And when I'm talking about yourself, I mean your inner being, your unselfish self, your soul, your intuition, the part of you that knows all that is, the part of you that is knowing that is part of one whole greater consciousness. We're coming into Leo season as well. And Leo is the 5th house, but it's also August. So the 17 is giving a 1 and a 7, an 8. That's reminding me that you could be... Leo is about confidence as well, and so is the throat chakra. So I feel like one of the fruits that's being born out of this time and energy that you spent is confidence in who you are, in what you say, in what you hear, that I feel like you're very discerning. You've got a lot of air on the board here. You've got the 3 of Swords. You've got the 6 of Swords, and you've got the 2 of Swords. So the Three of Swords is really about, threes can be a turning point. And it's at that time where you are ready to face that which has felt like a betrayal, backstabbing, that had just ripped your heart open and felt like the end of the world. And it feels like that to our ego. So it might have been an ego death. But again, circumstantially, that may have literally played out in your life. And I'm getting the feeling that it did. I'm feeling a lot of, you're coming from a time of a lot of heaviness, a lot of weight, a lot of density that you had to process through. I feel like you've done actually a lot of the grieving. If you haven't, you're well on your way through that process. You're being really truthful and honest with yourself. Be impeccable with your word. I'm hearing be impeccable with your word, listening, and how you speak. And I'm also hearing how you conduct your inner dialogue. You've really got a handle on that air energy. You might have had to fly blind. We've got the Two of Swords and the High Priestess here. 2 2s. The Two of Swords in the traditional tarot always reminds me of the High Priestess. Just the way the figure is sat there with the, the heart is protected and she's blindfolded, like not knowing which way to go. But the High Priestess, and she's got her tarot deck in front of her in this deck, she knows all. And she has the pomegranate in the traditional tarot behind her. So there's that bearing fruit imagery in her deck. She knows that we are all connected. She knows how to communicate beyond the 3D. Really, really, really beautiful. And she knows who to collaborate with and who not to collaborate. And I'm also getting Queen Bee off of this. So I feel like a lot of people projected onto you. I'm getting a lot of music for you. I'm hearing that Lady Gaga song from back in the day, Telephone. Just a second, it's my favorite song they're gonna play. And I can hear you with a drink in my hand, You should have made some plans with me. You knew that I was free. And now you won't stop calling me. I'm kind of busy. Stop calling. I feel like you might have had people around you that literally bum rushed you to get up close and in your space just to turn their back on you, ignore you, confuse you so that you didn't know which way to move because you're like, what in the actual F is going on here? Treated you like the way that they felt, that they were second fiddle to you, but you were always Queen Bee. But you were not Queen Bee in dominating over them. You were no, Regina George, let's say, where you had to have sidekicks. You were just being you, and you were welcoming everybody else to rise up as well. And you probably didn't realize all what was going on behind the scenes, but I feel like you've had to really tap into your intuition, expand your consciousness, really learn to listen with your whole being so that you could pick up on all of that stuff that was happening underneath the surface. The moon rules the tides, high tide, low tide, being able to see what's happening at full tide, being able to see when the tide goes out, what's actually beneath the surface, and being able to go down into the depths and being able to go down into the depths of yourself. Know thyself. What's driving me? Why am I hanging out with people who treat me like second fiddle? Why do I do that? There was something in you that where you just didn't want to make people feel bad, that you felt good in yourself and you wanted other people to feel that way, but you didn't perceive at that time that people were kind of DICKS to you. And that's not a poor reflection on you. That is a them thing. But also, when you've been gaslit a lot, especially as a kid, you might have been parentified. So you might have really learned to have to read people and have to manage their emotions so much that it was taking energy away from you. And I'm getting, you might have been really breadcrumbed a lot by people as well. I'm also hearing that song by No Doubt, another oldie. So I'm feeling like this could be related to your childhood or your school days or your, high school days or, kind of, I'm getting Mean Girl energy very much off of it. Spider webs. You're intruding on what's mine. You're taking up my time. Don't have the courage inside me to tell you, please let me be. Communication, telephonic invasion. I'm planning my escape. I feel like people just overwhelmed you and didn't give you space. Like, we're really claustrophobic, like all up in your grill because they wanted what you have. I'm kind of getting that single white female vibe from people around you. It could have been like a jealous sister. I'm also seeing The Bodyguard, that movie. Remember, Whitney Houston was the star of the family, and there's a point where he's talking to the Kevin Costner, who's the bodyguard. He's talking to the sister, and the sister is dancing in her little dance studio, and he was like, oh, you used to play? And she was at the front and Whitney was in the back, or Whitney's character, Rachel. And she said, oh yeah, it was very clear who was going to be the star in our family. So as soon as Whitney kind of grew up and blossomed into her stardom, the sister got very jealous, and she ended up being her assistant and being up close, like, very psycho frenemy, but it's her sister. And she has this sweeter than pie, butter wouldn't melt in her mouth. She's so loving to her sister. She's loving to her nephew. And in the end, we find out that it was the sister who was behind all of the stuff that was happening to her sister, which was really, really awful. And I'm getting that betrayal happens. Betrayal happens from those that we love. Betrayal happens from those that we invest in. Betrayal happens with those that we let into our inner circle, that we let into our hearts. And you can only really be betrayed at that like visceral, heart-wrenching level by somebody who pretended to be your friend, and maybe they just didn't have the skill set, and that's not an excuse. That is not an excuse. Again, this came up in pile 2. I'm hearing Maya Angelou. I didn't put the wound there, but it is my responsibility to heal it. So you learned in that time that not only are you not responsible for other people, but you're also responsible to protect yourself and to love yourself and to know what's going on, to see what's happening. And I'm hearing that you got really sharp, super sharp. Your clairs came online. You might have actually, in the silence, in the quietness, learned how to remote view. And I'm not saying learned, I'm saying remembered, actually. I want to correct that, because I feel like as a child, you were probably very, very tapped in, and you probably had all these things going on. And, a lot of us don't remember being super little kids and how we spent our time, but I'm sure that you had access to a lot of realms. Again, I'm seeing that big, big energy for you. So your clairs might have come online, your psychometry might have come online, your astral travel abilities might have come online, your ability to navigate other realms, your remote viewing, all of that kind of stuff, even your mediumship. And I'm at the stage, the bearing fruit part for me is not only do you now not have to carry all of this shiz that belong to other people, you have learned that they are able to tap into if they so choose, but it takes work. You did the work. You sat in silence and you communed with yourself, and you learned how to overcome your own internal conflict, and you learned how to heal and move to calmer waters. You learned how to calm your mind. You learned how to see through the dark. You learned how to build in this earth, and to be grateful The Daughter of Pentacles, that's the page of Pentacles. The Daughter of Earth, the Page of Pentacles. That's really a card of promise. And it's really giving me that you just learned to be grateful for what you had along the way. Even, I think you were always like that. But when all of this was levied at you, thrown at you, you're just so strong. You're so strong. And the pearl, of course, the pearl is also, you know, a little speck of dirt gets into the oyster shell, and then it's over time, it becomes a pearl. So I feel like this was a process that has been going on for lifetimes. And I feel like you've really managed to connect with like new guides, new realms. You know, it's just, I'm just seeing a huge expansion in your consciousness. I feel like you were around a lot of, you know, covert and overt drama, like drama queens. I'm getting Angelica from the Rugrats. Remember, she was like, I don't know, she was like 3 or 4. And the Rugrats were all in diapers. They were all like little babies. And she was like running roughshod over them. And it's giving that kind of like, you know, somebody abusing their power, let's say. And relative to the babies, she obviously had a lot of power. I haven't thought about the Rugrats in a long time. It's giving spoiled brat. But it's also giving not only spoiled brat, but also somebody who, you know, kind of backed into a corner. So I'm going to strike first. So you might have been dealing with one or both. Or for me, they're kind of two sides of the same coin. It's just like, I have no internal strength and I don't have the ability to support myself because I'm either given so much that I don't actually ever have to rely on myself for anything, or I'm totally back up against the wall. I'm totally in fight or flight all of the time in survival mode because I literally don't have any support. So it's giving you've been around a lot of people like that. And again, I'm going to say that I feel like you're a very powerful being. And I feel like you incarnated to learn how to overcome this, dealing with these kinds of people for once and for all. And this is a culmination. And after this, you won't be dealing with this in future lifetimes. I'm also getting for your spirit guides, it's an old Lionel Richie song. So again, I'm feeling like this is going back lifetimes and going back to your childhood. Hello, is it me you're looking for? I can see it in your eyes. I can see it in your smile. You're all I've ever wanted, and my arms are open wide. I feel like you're just this loving, beautiful being, and you are just ready to welcome with open arms those who can be loving, but you had to learn how to protect yourself. I feel like with the 3 of Wands, you're incredibly adventurous, and adventure can sometimes being like, not just going out of our comfort zone and like putting on a backpack and heading off to different countries and this, that, and the other and traveling around the world. But adventure can be, you know, meeting different kinds of people and getting involved in different kinds of projects and exploring different kinds of hobbies and developing different kinds of skills, and the people that we meet along the way doing that, getting up and learning how to public speak or that kind of thing. Anything that will take you away from your comfort zone, that kind of adventure, new frontiers, growing, expanding. And then, of course, here we've got the victory card, which is the 6 of Wands, the 6 of Fire, which I have another deck. In my Muse deck, I really like to think of it as the mini star. And in this card, it's a card of success. It's a card of victory. It's a card of visibility. And, you know, she is overcoming. I mean, I don't know if she's first, second, or third, or 51st or 52nd or 53rd, but it's Jupiter energy. She is growing herself. She's completing her. It looks like she actually is winning because it looks like the ribbon is broken here. But the fact that I didn't see that initially is significant to me. It could be that you're just breaking your own personal best over and over again. And that is the expansion that I'm seeing for you. It's really, really beautiful. And excuse me, I feel like the voice is coming up really strong. So we've had a bunch of songs. excuse me, we've had a bunch of songs come up for you. Be impeccable with your word. And I feel like you are. You always tell yourself the truth now. So you may have been someone who in younger years needed to you needed to tell yourself a fantasy so that, wow, strength card, needed to tell yourself a fantasy so that you could survive. Because when we're dependent on our caregivers, we can't think of them as enemies, because otherwise our mind wouldn't be able to take it, and we would just it would be too much for a child. Strength card, 8 of Wands, wow, Magician, Page of Cups, 9 of Cups, and you have got the Page of Pentacles twice. Page of Pentacles on the Page of Pentacles. Really beautiful. So you have had to be so strong. You have had to overcome your own fears, your own environment, your own potentially caregivers, your own intimate connections. People who said, because it's on the Lovers, people who said that they were there and had your back. I'm feeling like they may not have. We have got conflict here. They may have been frenemying up to you. They may have been all nicey to your face, but behind closed doors, they wanted to keep you dependent because they didn't want you to leave. And that then, when that happens in in childhood, it repeats then in intimate relationships, in friendships, and in romantic relationships, in intimate partnerships. And I feel like you have just really worked at overcoming that, whether that's what you would call it or not, I don't know. The eight of Wands, that's again giving Leo energy to me, but it's coming in fast. Your manifestation or whatever, once you kind of got to the stage of just truth, you were like, I don't care. I just want to know the truth. It's reminding me of somebody who is accused of something that they didn't do. They want to be exonerated. They want the truth to come out. They're like, I don't care. I'm not going to put my name to something that I did not do. Complete exoneration. And it's like having to play the long game. The truth always comes out in the end. You shall know them by their fruits. In the end, and sometimes it is years, sometimes it's after the person has passed that we find out information about them. But at the end of the day, you're connected to your consciousness and you know that you are not going to live a lie. And I'm hearing that song Reflection from Mulan. Must I pretend to be someone else for all time? No, you have drawn a line and you were like, I had to do that to please other people. And look at all the yellow. We've got a lot of blue and now we've got yellow. Solar plexus, confidence, who I am, manifestation. It's mercurial energy, but he's got all his tools. He's got everything to create whatever it is that he wants. Page of Cups. You've retained that beautiful innocence that you always had, and going through whatever this was, the betrayal, the conflict, the being gaslit, the having people just play in your face and smile in your face. But meanwhile, I'm getting gossip. I'm getting, manipulating the narrative, hijacking the narrative. I'm getting cyber stalking. I'm getting cyber bullying. I'm so sorry, pile number 3. That is horrible for anybody to have to go through, especially when it is someone who, let's say, is in your family, or let's say your in-laws. If you have, let's say you had an ex and their family is attacking you online or something like that. They're just two options or 2 examples of how that can play out. But you are fulfilled in who you are. You are satisfied with how you've shown up, no matter what has been dealt to you, no matter what hand you received, you played it. And now, Page of Pentacles, there's just such a promise in this card. There's just such an offering. And the offering is who you are. And I feel like anything that you sow with good intention now has the potential to really expand and flourish. And again, I'm seeing the pomegranate of the the high priestess, because it's coming from such a pure place. Angelic ones, you're really protected by your angels. Absolutely. You're incredibly connected to the angelic realm. Divine healing is upon you, divine grace and divine guidance. And I feel like this is a time of acceleration for that. You've got another card, Earth Angel. You're absolutely an Earth Angel. So your angels are coming in really, really strongly to just honor you for how you have navigated this incarnation, for how you've navigated these situations, for how you've never gone in for revenge, and how you have had, I'm surprised the Eight of Cups didn't come out, how you have had the gumption and the strength to put boundaries around once the truth. I mean, the truth will set you free, but first it might break your heart. But a heart cannot be broken. Whale teaching. You are a guide and you are a spiritual teacher to all that you have encountered. Depth of experience and healing. Teacher and mentor. Share wisdom. No matter what they levied at you, you still had kindness, sensitivity. Sensitivity is strength. So we've got strength twice here. We've got potential here twice. Higher perspective, divine abilities. I feel like if you want to take these gifts that you now have and do something like, I don't know, go into a healing profession or a creative profession or anything that's passionate for you, going into the environment, going in and working with some agency that protects the environment or animals, or I feel a real protection energy because you've been through so much and I feel like nobody protected you. In 3D, I feel like you had a lot of protection on the other side of the veil and you had to tap into that and have your consciousness of your expansion of consciousness to really be able to connect with that in the dark and to be able to commune with that in a way that is just so, so beautiful. And I feel like you could really be very good at doing something like this, reading cards, energy healing, body work, anything like that. But it doesn't even have to be healing. You're onto the stage of, pure manifestation at this point, because even though healing is always ongoing, because if you're in an earth body, if you're in human form, there's things, it's our bodies are not, they're technologies, but over time we're kind of resetting, we're evolving, and we are 3D. So there's a limitation, there's a container around what we can do, and we have to transcend those containers in order to be able to really harness the energy of the body and transcend 3D, which I believe that you are doing and have done. And I feel like you can really be a huge guide to others to help them, if they so choose, to follow. This is so gorgeous. I can see that you've been through it, and it's a lonely road, and it's giving forsaken as well, and that's really part of the hero's journey. In part, often the hero feels forsaken, and then the dark night of the soul. Dark night of the soul was actually very strong in pile number 2, so there could be messages in that for you. But I feel like what they really want to talk to you about today is just the expansion and the consciousness and the on point and the sharpness that you have. I'm hearing, be wary with your thoughts, because you're a manifestation maestro at this point. So whatever you want, you can manifest. You just have to be mindful of how you spend your time and where you put your energy in order to do so. And also, you now have the ability to detach, that you can also process your disappointment when it happens, because every seed that you sow is not going to take. That's not how it works. And you just have such a great understanding of that now. I'm going to leave it there because I've been rambling a bit the last while. Pile number 3, if this reading resonated with you, drop a star emoji in the comments. Give me a thumbs up. If you're not subscribed, if you'd like to hear more messages from me, please do hit the subscribe button. If you would like to work with me personally, the information is in the description box. You can only book through my email at this time. I will never message you or WhatsApp you, or I'm not on TikTok at this time. So you have to book that way with me. If somebody approaches you, it is not me. So you can either block, ignore, report, or you can reach out to me through my email. I'm going to leave it there, pile number 3. This was such a beautiful energy to spend time with. Thank you for being here. Thank you for spending your time with me. Thank you for incarnating at this time. I wish you so much love. Bye, pile number 3.